Talks event. The She community is delighted to welcome you to another exciting edition of She Talks. And this time we focus on a deeply important part of our lives, stress, and how to manage it without losing our spark. So, guys, please put your comment in the chat if you relate. As summer brings warmer days and a renewed sense of energy, it's a perfect moment to pause, take a deep breath, and rethink how we care for ourselves. So, guys, again, welcome to our online event, Bloom Gently Managing Stress Without Losing Your Spark. Together, we'll explore self care, balance, and basically practical tools how to manage stress while staying motivated and energized. And this evening, we're creating space for a meaningful conversation, which is filled with real experiences, daily habits, and mindset shifts that help us protect our energy and find peace even in the busiest seasons of life. Some which is real in terms of our business in IT, especially. So, our session features insights from an exceptional guest speaker, my beloved Gavryliuk, VP of Operations at Symphony Solutions. With over 15 years, yes, by the way, 15 years of leadership experience, she is known for her strategic mindset and strong focus on team well being and engagement. Outside of work, Ira finds joy and balance through heavy lifting and CrossFit, flying planes, and caring for her 7 cats. You heard everything correctly. So here's what we have planned for the next hour. First of all, we'll begin with a discussion where you'll hear about Ira's strategies and experiences in managing stress, staying balanced, and protecting your spark, both in and outside work. It's going to be really exciting. Then we'll open the floor to your questions in a live Q&A session. So please, guys, think about your questions in advance. And finally, we'll wrap things up by summarizing the key takeaways and sharing a few thoughts on moving forward with balance and intention. Hi, darling. So great to have you with us today as our guest on She Talks. And we are really looking forward to hearing your stories, your insights. So I encourage you to jump right in. My very first question: what are some simple ways women can manage stress without burning out, especially when juggling busy careers and personal life? So obviously, Ira, we are very excited to hearing specifically your personal experience.
Hello, Ira. Good evening, everyone. And I am so happy and honored to be invited as a guest speaker here. And I'm very pleased that I'm alone today and pleased that I'm perceived as an expert who fights stress successfully. So let's see if my tips and tricks and maybe some of my personal experiences would be useful and beneficial to you, ladies and maybe gentlemen who joined us today, right? And before we start talking about this topic, I would really like to express my huge gratitude to Valentina Sinenka because she is the founder of our community, She community, and she still supports this community with great ideas, with great and interesting and exciting speakers, right? And these speakers are not only from tech industry, but they are from all across different industries, which is a great fact, I think. And I do hope for an insightful conversation today. I obviously can't talk for all women, as we are all very different, but I can surely talk for myself and what simple ways help me to stress without burning out when I'm juggling my personal life and career also. And I hope that, again, some of these information pieces will be used by other women. So what works for me, right? First of all, and you mentioned this yourself, Ira, it's sport. I think it's a well-known fact, right, that regular physical activity is one of the most effective stress busters. And it's not only about these endorphins, right, these body natural mood lifters, right, but it's also about cortisol that gets lowered and it boosts energy. And the other thing about sport for me personally is that this is a total shift of focus for me. So when I have my training sessions, I'm so much concentrated on how I do particular exercises that I totally forget about work, about everything else, and even about my personal life. And I finally, I think, found the type of sport which I like, and I will be talking in more detail about this a bit later. This is weightlifting and CrossFit. Second thing that helps me personally is, of course, nutrition. And a funny fact is that I don't eat just to function, as they like to say, right? But I eat to fuel. And by fuel, I mean that I really like to eat tasty food. And one another fact about me is that after the main course of breakfast in the morning, every morning, I eat a dessert. And this is a kind of a ritual or a reward for myself, right? Every morning that sets me up for a difficult day, potentially brings me to the good mood. And the important fact about this is that I cook desserts myself, so that I don't buy them and I know, right, which ingredients are in this dessert and that it's natural. And
Smart.
in general, our food choices, I think they actually directly impact our energy, mood, and stress level. And I still try to stick to very, very stress smart, I think, nutrition tips like lowering my blood sugar. I do limit alcohol. I do try to hydrate. And I was just actually adding in my phone some milliliters of water that I just drank, because even a very small dehydration increases fatigue and irritability in me. So I try to observe this very carefully. Another thing for me is, I think, wellness, spa, and I call this recreational activities. Apart from doing quite difficult sport, I think I try to have some nice traditions with my female friends. Once per month, we always book a time to go to spa with different swimming pools, different, I mean, cold and hot. And I also try to pick those places which combine different types of saunas. Since I sit a lot, right, and we in IT software development industries do spend a lot of time in front of computers, be it at home or in the office, but still I sit a lot. So something like lymphatic drainage massage, and this can be even a pleasant massage, which also improves the look and feel of your body, like icon or stratosphere. And this is my big recommendation for women as well. And of course, every year I try to do medical checkups. I do these blood tests, ultra sonic, I think, test, right? And only based on this, I go to my nutritionist, and she gives me prescriptions what vitamins to take and how to observe the food that I actually take. And a fun fact about this point was, I think in December, I actually did out of curiosity. That was not actually told to me by any doctor, but I decided to do a computed tomography of the whole body.
Wow.
Yes, I was not prepared actually for the things that I discovered and uncovered as a result of this tomography, because there are so many different smallest dysfunctions in my body and actually some diseases which I had no clue exist. So I now have to observe and take smarter decisions what type of physical training and nutrition to pick up, but still it was very I think, nice and insightful experience. The next thing that works personally for me, I think, is therapy and psychological support. And I know that a lot of people are still kind of afraid or do not feel comfortable acknowledging they have psychological sessions, right? And in my opinion, it does matter to have them, because this bottled up stress leads to burnout. This is one of the first reasons, right? And speaking to a psychologist, to me, offers, I think, more clarity, some coping instruments that I use in my daily life, and of course, some emotional relief, right? I personally do one-on-one therapy. It might be in person or it might be virtual, but still I have them on a regular basis. And one of my recommendations would be to find some communities where you live or in the nearby cities that actually unite people either from same industry or from different industries. I, for example, attend once per 2 months a very interesting group session. It's Gestalt for Business, and there we get together with CEOs and owners and founders of businesses and companies in absolutely different industries: agriculture, dentist, IT industry, as well as food and beverage, hospitality, and so on. And what these gatherings give me, first of all, we share a lot of knowledge, our wins and failures, I mean, victories and failures, right? We discuss, we support each other. And this is a huge boost when you are in stress situations, you don't know how to cope, which way out of particular situations to pick up. Then these people, based on their experience, can advise something really working and helpful to you. And I think the same equally well works for me, Gestalt intensives, for example, right?
Mhm.
Since I'm very much keen in psychology, I also or to Odessa, which gives me a chance to be by the sea and also be in the mountains, right? And there we have a very intensive 10 days work with coaches and with other clients, let's say, and you come back after these intensives a totally different individual, an absolutely different person. All your previous conclusions are questions, your mindset is heavily challenged, so you find new senses, you have absolutely revised views on things and opinions. So for me, this works really very well, especially when this stress is built up and I am, on edge already. So summer comes, this intensive training comes, and I feel relieved. The last but not least, I think, is I'm doing and trying to do what lights me up. These are very, very simple things, and this is essential for my mental balance as well. They boost joy, they boost creativity, my self-worth, and I will be talking about this a little bit later. And these activities, they prevent life from revolving only around my responsibilities. This might be volunteering, I think, and I mean animal welfare, of course. Helping and supporting shelters, for example, right? Yes, this is something that we share with you, Ira, as well, in different ways. I can go to a shelter and help volunteers clean the shelter, right? I adopt animals. I finance fully, like I call it donation, some very difficult operations, right? I also medical operations, I of course mean. Then I sometimes take some very difficult, complicated topic like looking for vaccines for fatal diseases for animals. And I think I talked to Andriy Brigas, my colleague, and Oleg Vykhopin, who helped with ideas and brainstorming. So in this way, volunteering for me, this is one of the biggest and most important parts of my life, right? Then I also have simple things that normal people also have, like going to the theater, going to cinemas. Especially for those people who live in Ukraine, my biggest recommendation would be, as a stress relief and as a prevention from burnout, devote one of your evenings to nice lecture plus movie in Planeta Kino. So they have a very great initiative. They invite a kinoman, I think in English that would be movie man, right? Who prepares a whole presentation with hidden senses, with some very interesting information that you didn't know about this specific movie. And he delivers this presentation, answers your questions, sets you in a right mood before the movie starts, and then you actually enjoy the movie, right? Plus, I also really like to meet new people. And one of my recommendations for people who also like to meet new people would be install some useful applications on your phone. I am not meaning Tinder or anything like this, but I mean breakfast, for example. I have, I think, I don't know, around 30 breakfasts already with different people from different industries. I was shocked and at some point even overwhelmed by the amount of new information that I received from these meetings. I met people who work as I don't know, readers of gestures, mimics, and postures of people, and advise business owners who to hire or who to not to hire. And lots of actors, actresses, and people from totally different industries with absolutely different mindset. And I get absolutely blown away. And definitely this helps me to switch the focus, release stress, and it also helps to prevent some burnout. So probably flying a plane would be one of those, but it's strictly related to fear as well. And I'm sure that you will be asking me this question
I
today.
will definitely be asking that.
Yeah, I'll try to.
Okay. Thanks, Ira. That was super comprehensive. Very nice answer. I hope people are making their notes. Unless you're not doing this right now, there will be a session, a recording, and you'll be able to watch it one more time and take step one, step two, step three, all the recommendations from this big, warm-hearted woman that she just shared with us. Thank you, Ira. Well, you mentioned a lot about sports. Yes, I think this is time to dig into this focus more because you mentioned that this is one of your ways to switch the focus and get energized, especially using weight lifting. So tell us how this kind of gentlewoman weight lifts.
Yeah, it's actually a good question because when people get acquainted with me for the first time, they always say, "You weight lift? No way! You're so small." And definitely, I think I tried different types of sport. I did high intensity interval training, high Luda Majerina, because she was doing this with me in our Lviv office. I was doing a lot of Tabata. I was just doing powerlifting for a couple of years and I really enjoyed it. So this love of working with weights appeared in me, I think, long time ago. But then I watched some Olympic competitions and definitely fell in love with weightlifting. And this is a totally new world for me and a constant challenge as well, definitely. I was looking for a type of sport that can actually steal my focus completely. It helps me to rewind, switch between work and personal matters also, and fully be concentrated on the exercise that I do. And I think when you are doing something like snatches, you definitely have to observe how the angles of your knees look like, your back angle. I mean, how you hold your hands, right? The grip, because it's different from everything that you actually do in sport. And your shoulder blades, the move itself, it's highly technically complicated. One of the, if not the most complicated move in whole sports, because you need to invest a lot of energy and strength during a very limited amount of time, right? And it's very dangerous because you actually hold these weights above your head. And how can you think about something else during this moment, like work or calls with clients or unfinished mails, if you only think how to do the exercise correctly, not to kill yourself, right?
How to survive, yes.
Exactly. And that was interesting because it was not enough for me when I all the snatches, clean and jerk and deadlifts and all of the rest of the exercises, I started doing them correctly, more or less technically. I said, okay, I am now ready for CrossFit. And my instructor she's a very experienced instructor, a coach, and she was like, CrossFit, no problem. I'm rap, a fab, a mom. Let's try. We started with 10 minutes, then we continued to 20 minutes. And we also have in our company one lady, I will not tell the full name because she is always against me putting her as an example. I just say that it's Olenka, who is actually also doing, I think, weightlifting and CrossFit. And I adore women also who do such a complicated sport. And when you do the CrossFit, when you are like lying on the floor, when you are ready to split your lungs, you also don't actually think about work or any distracting things, right? Plus, it's also a matter of setting the goals. You might be so much concentrated on work and your personal life that you would like to have something different, right? And set a goal of weight or reps or just do some exercise technically correctly. You challenge yourself constantly in this type of sport, and you definitely feel filled up when you achieve what you planned for, and you definitely get into high spirits and feel whole and motivated again. There are some pitfalls, and don't tell me, ladies and gentlemen, you don't want to do sports because your back hurts or something like this. I actually am doing weightlifting, having hernia. For the guys who are watching us from Ukraine, it's a hole in my belly, which is really an anti pattern in weightlifting, right? Then I have protrusions, then I have cysts in all my wrists and legs. I have hypertension, I mean high blood pressure, and varicosis. So, with all these diseases and diagnoses, I still decided that until I feel that it's too much and my body says to me that I can't do this anymore, I will be trying to achieve, some heights in this type of sport.
Yeah, just do it, but with a smart approach, yes,
Yeah,
and balance, absolutely. But again, sports requires efforts and persistence. Anyway,
true. Absolutely.
indeed. Thank you, Ira. So that was very insightful, I would say. Again, about the sports and you into the sport. How long have you been doing weightlifting?
I think from November last year, so not so long, and my results are not so like impressive. I think this clean and jerk I can do like 60 kilos, but I was also today watching my instructor and coach, and she was like doing 75, I think. So I consider it to be a good progress.
So it's a perfect progress, I would say. Good for you. Keep going.
Thanks.
Thanks for sharing. Again, when we're talking about trips and you are in the position of a person who has regular business trips, minimum 10 per year, and at least two of them that are happening in the US, yes, who lasts less, not less than 2 weeks.
Mhm.
So tell us, please, how do you handle the pressure and staying productive and energized? So how you manage this, especially given the time zone changes, those jet lags, poor sleep, or even facing with new cultures and everything related to that. So tell us about this side of your life.
Yeah, that's I think long travels is my, as they call, flavor of the month, opening of the season. So I just am back from the US trip where we were, I think, spending at least 2 weeks or something like this. And I do travel a lot. These are mostly business trips, but I, of course, also have some vacations. But if to talk about the business trips, which sometimes get really overwhelming, right? I am very lucky to have great colleagues working with me. Now I travel with, of course, with Ksenia, our chief executive officer, and of course, we are accompanied by some technical people, and one of them is our technical director, Oleg. And Oleg is also carefully observing his lifestyle and tries to exercise a lot as much as he can, also during business trips. And we always try this. This is the first not so rare life hack, I would say, right?
Mhm.
We always try to book the hotels where we have a gym. This gives us a chance to have at least some workouts every day in the business trip. But we also, and Oleg has this task every time we go on a business trip to look for decent gyms in the neighborhood. And I always tell him, we need to have weightlifting dumbbells in this gym because it doesn't make sense for me to go there. And we try to exercise at least every other day in such gyms. That was an interesting experience for us in New York this time on Manhattan, because we had some meetings, or were supposed to have some meetings in New York, and we had to stay there for several days. So we found the gym there as well. But I was surprised that people only do, let's say, powerlifting there and just fitness, right? And some
Mhm.
CrossFit, but they definitely don't do weightlifting, which was a big and huge disappointment for me. But I try to stay always energized and exercise as much as I can during my business trips. And what is a differentiator or a game changer, as I call it? We adopted a habit of looking for some spa spaces while being on a business trip. So just imagine you have the whole day packed with client meetings. You have this negotiations. Sometimes you even have tough negotiations. You even like quarrel, and you are getting very emotional. And then you actually, in the end of the day, feeling like this because you are very stressed and you are totally, out of energy
Squeeze.
and so
Yes.
on. Yes, squeezed like a piece of lemon. And then we found very nice spa places, especially in the USA. They have this bigger spaces which also combine different saunas, different cold and hot swimming pools. And then you actually get totally refreshed. And for the next day, also packed and filled with meetings, you feel energized, rewind, and refreshed, full of energy, and motivated and set up to conquer the world. We also check, and this is another like life hack, you may say, from me when I'm on a business trip. We check our neighborhood for places for pleasant and refreshing run. That's how me and Ksenia had a very pleasant run in New York in Central Park, for example. That was not a long run, but it was full of emotions, fresh air, meeting nice and looking people, greeting them, and so on. So that was a very good experience, right? And my recommendation to people who are very often in business trips would be find parks, coastline, for a longer walk, a swim, a good run, a good training exercise, right? So that you get a chance to totally switch, get this energy boost, and sleep well after these activities. And those are the activities that I call recreational ones, definitely.
Yeah, point taken, guys. We've noted. So never forget about your habits that inspire you to be yourself and to be back to yourself. Good points. Thanks. Ira, I have so many questions left to you. So maybe the next one we will cover in a nutshell some of your thoughts to share about the role of self compassion that plays in managing stress. and preventing especially burnout too. Yes, because in nowadays among so many of our colleagues we heard this word, and we are hearing this word every single day: burnout. I'm facing burnout. I have lots of stress because of burnout. What should I do with myself? So with your 15 years of experience, tell us more.
Mhm. Self-compassion, right?
Yeah.
You even asked me this question, and I was like, okay, what does self-compassion mean to me? What is self-compassion? So I
Do I
guess
have self-compassion? Yes.
yeah,
Let's.
what is self-compassion actually? But then some, I think, decent thoughts started coming to my mind. And I think self-compassion is when you treat yourself exactly with the same level of care and kindness, probably empathy that you treat other people who are struggling, right? And in my case, I think what I did was I tried to first of all reduce this inner criticism or level of inner criticism, because many high achieving women have this inner bully, right? And this voice always tells you, you are not doing enough, or you should be handling this a little bit better. And for me, self compassion, I think, replaces all these phrases with something like, it's okay to struggle. I'm doing my best, or I'm doing the best I can with what I have. This is my favorite phrase, by the way. I don't have to be perfect to be worthy or to be loved. And such behavior and self compassion, I think, also encourages for healthier choices, because you start being driven by care, not fear or pressure, right?
Mhm.
And if you would like to have a rest or to have a nap when you are tired, you allow yourself to do this. You actually take care of your body by eating better food. You seek and ask for help also from people around you and from a psychologist, a psychiatrist, if it's needed, even, right? So this creates this emotional resilience for me, so to say. And instead of, I call it spiraling around guilt and shape and perfectionism, self-compassion gives me or helps me to bounce back faster the setbacks, right? So I don't know. That's what self-compassion means to me. Stop being hard on yourself and treat yourself with same level of compassion and empathy as you try to treat your friends and your loved ones and your family members as well.
Okay, thank you. Thanks for telling this to us. One more thing, speaking of your experience in the career, so you certainly built some habits or mindsets. Tell us, please, those, maybe mention those that helped you grow without losing yourself along this way. Yes, being yourself and being a great contributor.
Wow, it's a difficult question, I think. And when you started asking this question, I immediately thought of our founder, I think, and our former chief executive officer, Theo, right? Because when I joined the company, there was some onboarding session, I think, that he gave to us, or some conversation that we had. I don't remember exactly. But he said, even when you don't know what to do in particular situations, or you don't know who to ask a specific question, you don't know which right decision to take, always be guided by values and refer to values, right? You should always rely on them. And somehow this statement follows me throughout my whole career. I do have my values, my dogmatic point of view, and I will not allow anyone to, destroy them. That would be a good word, right? And I try to continuously ask myself, why am I doing this task, right? What is the purpose? What result do I expect out of this task? And even if I don't like the answer, I need to have an answer because I need to have the purpose. Because all things need to have purpose and goal, and I try not to waste my time doing things that will not bring me to the place I plan to be. So I think value connection and collaboration and empathy a lot. My strong side has always been building strong relationships with people, and building and having these connections built with my colleagues and my clients as well. That's why I also have a lot of clients coming back to me personally, also in the company. This helped me to stay, first of all, I think, human in all the environments at home and at work as well. And I do believe in the phrase or statement that success is or feels better when it's shared or something like this. So I think that my like 15 years of this career, which I have managed to build so far, is also based a lot on people that are surrounding me and that have become my friends at work. So definitely this.
Yeah, thank you. It was really lovely, and especially speaking of values. By the way, greetings to Tao, our role model, our boss, and sales Bible creator at Symphony Solutions. Hi, Tao. Hope you will watching us. Two more questions, and let's jump then to the Q&A. I'm sure people are curious to ask something more specific from their end. So, about the flights and about the heights. Yes, you have a passion for flying, despite you have a fear of heights. That's what I heard. That's what the rumors said. So, Ira, how does this hobby help you cope with stress and feel empowered? As short as possible.
Oh, as short as possible. Such questions they require really huge answers. Yeah, actually, flying, I should say, became at one point of time a deeply personal metaphor for me, as you, Ira, mentioned, correctly mentioned, a way to meet fear with curiosity rather than avoidance, right? Because usually, what do we do with things that we are afraid of? We avoid them. And I said to myself, look, if I'm so much afraid of heights, then I should do what? Yes, I should learn how to fly a plane. And every time I actually step into the cockpit, I am reminded that actually courage isn't the absence of fear, it's a choice to move through this fear, right? And this mindset is together with me everywhere in my personal life and at my work. So, what scares me, I should definitely pursue this because fear to me equals interest. And when I am overwhelmed or when I am under pressure, right, I return to what actually flying teaches me: breathe, focus, trust my knowledge and my experience, and don't let the panic steer the plane, right? And maybe there were a couple of experiences in my life when I just took a cup of coffee because I actually lived nearby the airport. I took a cup of coffee, I went to the airport, and I was watching planes taking off and landing for hours. And then I said to myself again, why do I watch those planes here if I can actually do and this and see how planes operate together with other people with the same mindset in the classroom. So I decided to pursue flying. So definitely, this is working with the fear, and I stress really less. Because when I see that something scares me, I immediately convert it into a natural interest. What's there that scares me most of all? And I start, sorting things out and doing things one by one.
Well, thank you. It goes without saying, your way of solving uh, these issues and facing your fears is very interesting, very different. Nice the approach. Obviously, I have few more things to ask, and I still encourage you guys to put your questions in the chat because we'll start our Q&A session. But I cannot let Ira keep silent, especially on the topic when it comes to cats. So please, I have a question to you as an animal advocate. Yes, you have 7 cats living with you at home. And you care about so many cats who do not belong to your place. So tell us at least about those that you live with. How do they bring joy and balance to your life? Do they play a role in your stress management routine? Or maybe sometimes, on the contrary, your cats causing the stress? So, how it works over there?
Yeah. As I have already mentioned, I think today, and I mentioned this and remind this to myself every day as well, that this is the biggest part of my life. I have been the advocate for animal welfare, I think, from my early childhood, and I have adored animals since my childhood as well. And I always brought cats and stray cats and stray dogs home to my apartment, and my parents obviously did not allow me to keep them all at home, right? So I dreamed of having as many animals as I wanted when I will grow up. And I always felt very compassionate, right, for stray animals. I even have a tattoo on my hand which says about exactly these things. So that's how I ended up having rescued animals living with me, namely now 7 cats, all taken from the streets. And I actually enjoy the love that they give to me every day. This is the biggest stress relief for me, obviously. And caring for cats also reminds me of the power of nurturing without words, right? There is something I would call healing about offering care and receiving calm in return from these animals, right?
Mhm.
And this brings kind of peace I don't get anywhere else in my life. When life feels chaotic or overwhelming for me, and just sitting with them, and even for, I don't know, 5 minutes probably helps shift my energy heavily. And I also have a small shelter back at home, and my mom takes care of this shelter. Definitely, this takes a lot of her time, and she is not always happy about this. But that's something that we devote our lives to. A lot of people from Symphony also know that I have good doctors I can recommend, all possible doctors specializing in absolutely different parts of treatment. So if you need an advice, definitely refer to me and I will be happy to help. So yeah, of course, this is the biggest part and the biggest stress relief. And guys, if you feel like you don't have anyone to talk to, and I am talking to my animals all the time at home, or you need a true friend, right? Or you would like to have someone waiting for you at home, adopt a cat. And I'm very grateful for my fellow symphonians who adopted animals that I brought to the office, raised in the office, and they are now living happily in foster families. So thank you a lot for this.
Lucky those cats who used to meet you one day before, right? And
Mhm.
like you, actually, those fluffy creatures, they really create lots of pleasure and nice emotions for our everyday life. Thanks, Ira. So I think this is the very high time and good time to move to the Q&A part of the event. Guys already dropped some of the questions in the chat. We still have some time to answer them. So guys, continue doing so. And for the record, wanted to highlight that we have a surprise. Ira, in particular, has a surprise. She will be given a special gift to the person who asks the most interesting question to her. So you have still time to be creative. And I will start with the maybe last question, as it was recently mentioned by you, Ira. So, what's the story behind your tattoo? By Valentina Senenka is the question.
Probably it's a question from Theo, because this was a question actually from Theo when we met first time in President Hotel in Kiev when we had our first job interview. I hope you're listening, Theo, and you remember this event. Yeah, because he was asking me what does your tattoo say? Because it's self sacrifice. And I started explaining that I help animals a lot, and I devote my life to animal welfare. I like help stray dogs and cats and shelters. And he said very relevant thing. Then this should probably not be a self sacrifice as a word combination, but compassion. And I was like, really? It should have been compassion, and it's a better word. So now I have some sessions with this, erasing this tattoo from my hand and putting there compassion. So thank you, Theo, for idea.
Yeah, thanks for the question. We are heading to the next one. So, what's one belief or mindset shift that changed your relationship with stress? It's from Joanna, by the way. Hi, Joanna. Thanks for being with us tonight.
Yeah, I think, Joanna, and I think I answered exactly the same question 5 years ago or something like this. We had an event at Symphony, which was breakfast with leadership or something like this. And I said that the biggest shift of mindset happened to me when I actually gave myself a piece of advice. Don't, if you have a fear towards something, then it's something that you still have to get to know. This is something new, something you haven't tried, something that will give you new experiences and new knowledge. Go for it. So that was the biggest change of mindset for me. Definitely.
Oh, thank you. Joanna is very active tonight, so probably she can be a good candidate for a gift, but let's see. One more portion of questions from Joanna. Have you ever faced a tough decision where choosing what aligned with your values meant slowing down or saying no? Yes, it's always hard to say no. So, how did you navigate that?
Yeah. By the way, guys, please watch one of the previous episodes, The Power of Saying No. I think it was done by Valentina and Ksenia, very worth watching. Yeah, so, well, I face this challenge every day, right? Sometimes, and I think at work, and Joanna, I think, understands this also very well. When you have to take a tough decision which is connected to a financial side and something that is connected to people side, right? When you need to, for example, for the sake of saving something, you need to give someone a notice, right? You kind of also compromise your values because you actually have to deal with something very personal and you are feeling very compassionate and you would love to keep this person, but you can't because of some, work related issues, either cost reduction policy or something like this. And you do compromise a little bit your values because you understand why you are doing this. That's why I told you at the beginning that I always try to ask myself, why am I doing this? And if the purpose or goal or result that I'm expecting is significant enough, then I'm ready to a little bit, close my eyes on something and still do the task, accomplish something which I was told to do, and so on, if I really see the sense in this. So, Joanna, be my guest. I am doing this every day, facing this choice, and still try to stick to my values and even say no sometimes.
Yeah, that's a good point, guys. Feel free to follow Ira and those who know her in person. Leverage the potential and the knowledge that was already gained, and basically feel free to exchange your insights. Yes, so because every single day we are learning new things. Thank you, Joanna. Thank you, Ira, for answering. We have a few more questions. One is from Ivana Dejanovska. So it sounds in the following way: what's your secret superpower at work that no one knows about?
No one knows about. I
Oh,
think
maybe
I am
you're
an open book.
so you're not a private person.
No, absolutely. And I think one of the superpowers is that I consider it not a superpower, but something that helps me in every way here at work, and would definitely help me in any other company. I try to be in good relationships with people around me, build friendships, have great communication with people on all levels. So I don't differentiate between people of, I don't know, junior level, VP level, C level. I communicate equally with everyone. And I do think that there are so many incredibly interesting people who might not even have this high, super duper high positions. And we are depriving ourselves sometimes from a chance to have a very interesting and exciting and insightful conversation with these people by thinking that they are not worth our attention. This is such a stupid mistake. That's why I try to be, open to everyone and have great relationships with everyone.
But maybe speaking of those superpowers that people might know, but let's maybe highlight a little bit those that you feel you are really strong in. What's your superpower?
I think maybe this combination of, as again, Tao says, and we have even a group in Teams which is called Burgundy calculators. So I think I calculate really quite well all the proposals instantly for clients. And I think I can instantly say if this would be a profitable business for us or not. This superpower I gained through experience, I think, working with our delivery teams also. But again, this is something that people know about. There is no secret about me, as I said, I guess.
But too many superpowers you cannot mention right now because we
Yeah.
need one more session then to discuss those. But already we've heard lots of your contributions in your personal and professional life. So thanks for sharing that, Ira. Maria is asking, I wonder how Ira handles and manages not to swell up during the long plane rides.
We just recently discovered that some of the airlines have internet connection. I'm not sure if it's a good discovery or a negative one because now you work during the whole flight. And I think if you choose KLM, for example, then you have good, stable internet connection and you don't even notice how this time flies. So you just connect to internet and you start typing emails, answering Teams messages, communicating with clients, your teammates. So that's how you cope. You don't even notice that you are already in the air and that you have like 30 minutes before landing, right? Other than this, there are some practical advices which my clients gave to me, what to do and which pills to take. I also buy them in the US, which helped me survive during this 8 hours flight. Plus, I try to read and watch movies during these flights. If this is what you meant, Marichka, or is it Marichka or Maria?
It's Maria.
So for me, this is not the biggest problem. The biggest problem is with the jet lag when you come back home or you land in the US and then you feel all the time sleepy and tired at certain hours.
Okay, thanks. That's insightful. And our audience is relatively active. We have one more question from the user CS. I don't know who are you, but that's very interesting to read your question. So, Ira, if you have no idea about some challenge, what would you rely on? Intuition or logical calculation?
I have good intuition, definitely, but I would rely more on logical calculation. Definitely.
Can you recall maybe some cases that you can share?
Mm, well, I think it's like embedded in our daily life at work. Yes, I can, for example, get acquainted with with potential client or potential colleague at work, right? Because I take active part in selection of people as well. And I can always say if it's a pleasant person to talk to, what values this person shares, what mindset and outlook this person has. And intuition might tell me that even though the track record, the CV says it's a great professional with great achievements, a beautiful CV. But if my intuition still will say that during the conversation I spotted a couple of moments which I would not tolerate for someone working at Symphony, then of course I will first of all, yes, say that he is a great professional, which is an easy thing to teach, but then I would probably not pursue hiring this person because of my intuition. So yes, I will be guided first evaluating logical things, but then I will still ask myself if I am sure.
Okay, thank you. By the way, Maria, comment back on the question and your answer about the long plane rides. Now she is super curious about the pills. So,
Yeah, I'm not sure I can give this advices here, so I can give them in private message.
okay, let's keep things private. Thanks a lot, folks, for being very active with us tonight. I think it's time to make some conclusions. And thank you, Ira, for this insightful conversation and your replies on our questions and on our curiosity in particular. Let's make a moment to reflect on the key takeaways from today I managed to make during your speech. So, self care, yes, is a structure, not just only about the spa day. So, intentional habits like sport, therapy, and healthy checkups are burnout best defense. Think about this, guys. What else I would highlight is passion, and passions give power. Please always explore what excites you, from flying to weightlifting in the case of Ira, because it builds confidence and mental clarity for pursuing more dreams and your regular responsibilities. And last not least, and my favorite, I would say, related to values. So values are your compass, guys. When things get tough, coming back to your why always helps to stay true, focused, and fulfilled. A big thanks to you, Ira, our fantastic speaker, to all of you guys for joining us and actively participating in the chat. Take a time, Ira, for deciding who will be the one you gift the present that was prepared. And meanwhile, guys, I will encourage you to follow us for more events with the She community and Symphony solutions. Also, please subscribe to our YouTube channel, like us, and share this session. And obviously, follow us on social medias. Links are in the description, so you'll never miss an update. We would love to hear from you all the time. Kindly share your experience in the comments, your thoughts, maybe more questions. Ira is always open to cover them. And thanks again, everyone, for spending this time with us tonight. Let's continue to empower one another and grow, as said, gently, confidently, and together. See you at the next She Talks event. Bye bye.
Bye.
Bye bye, Ira. Thank you.
Thank you.